Hi everybody, this is Cindy from Ideas Times 2. Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm just crafting, working on some projects. I have a special order to do some grungy journals and thought I would work on the covers today. And so I have the cover made. Here's the outside, and the inside is just a brown paper bag. And I thought I would embellish the front and the back, and thought I would turn the camera on while I was crafting today. And so you can see here on the table I have a bunch of stuff that I thought I might use. I'm going to do some kind of collaging and whatnot. So I have some piano paper, some burlap, a doily, some book pages and paper scraps, some muslin, and some really grungy library card catalog cards and index cards, and I thought I would do something with them. So I just have everything over here on the side so that it's handy. These journals are botanical, all three of the ones I'm working on. I'm about done with the insides and ready to bind. And I have some of these tags as well. These are from Vectoria Designs. And I was thinking maybe of using one up here on the pocket. Not 100% sure what I want to do, but I thought we could maybe do that together. I know one thing I'm missing right now is a little bit of that togetherness, the camaraderie of working with fellow crafters and working with my colleagues at school, since we are done teaching in the school building for the rest of the year. We're still working, we're still teaching online and meeting online, trying to keep up with our units so kids don't fall behind for next year, but without overwhelming them. It's really hard to find a balance, and find a balance that works for parents too, because parents aren't teachers, and they're doing their own jobs from home. Hopefully everybody, people have been able to work from home. So it's hard to juggle both, and I know teachers are juggling both, trying to teach from home and trying to teach their own kids too. I teach English, and so it's a good thing. For me, it's very easy to assign books and assign reading and have online discussions. So I think when I cut that out, I was thinking of this spot right here. I'm going to ink the edges. It's already been coffee stained, but I just want to make sure that there's no white showing on the sides. As of course there is. I think I want to put that here, and I don't know, I was thinking maybe of the index card, putting that maybe behind it. But now I'm thinking maybe the library card instead. I know some people use these library cards and they completely cover them front and back with things. I like the cards the way they are. I like the writing on there, so I don't want to cover it all up. But maybe if I do something like that, trim it down, of course, because it's a little too big. And this card is from a book on Shakespeare criticisms. Still a little too big. Trim a little off the bottom. Maybe put that there with this over the top. What else could it use? Needs a little softening, I think. I can't find my cheesecloth, but maybe a little piece of muslin. Actually is a bit from the old curtains in my guest room. I changed them last week, so now I have it's really soft, aged muslin. Maybe I'll put that on there like that. And maybe the book plate, a book plate. I do think it needs something over there. Maybe the book plate there. Okay, let's see. I need a couple of brads for the book plate. Kind of starting to run low on brads. Make sure they're the same color. And let's see. I think I'll glue everything together and then maybe stitch over it when the glue is dry. Or not. I've been really struggling the last few weeks in particular with just kind of finding my creativity. I know I'm not alone. I've seen a lot of people posting about, you know, having lost their mojo. And I just think it's hard when times are uncertain. And people are anxious about world events and current events, about their jobs and their health, family members, if people are sick. I think it makes it's really hard. I think it makes it very hard to be creative. And I think I'll put that on here like that, but where's my awl? I'm going to put attach it with the brads to the card rather than gluing it down or anything. Maybe I'm having a little trouble. And I'll press them down really well so that they lay as flat as possible. I don't think I'm going to sew this one around this one. I don't know. I'm very indecisive. I'm very indecisive. I think I am going to sew it. You know, this is, if we were crafting together, this is what we would be doing, right? Changing our minds. And so I'm going to take the book plate off so I can sew around it. I'm just going to, I don't know, just do some stitching on there. That's better. You can see I just did a little bit of kind of a wonky stitch around the label and around the edge of the card. Gives it a little bit more visual interest and some texture, a little extra texture. With the grungy journals that I've been making lately, I've been doing a lot of sewing in them. I like that extra texture and the color, and so a lot of the grungy journals have a lot of sewing. All right, we'll press that down again. And then put that right there. And I'm just using Fabri-Tac. I really like Fabri-Tac. It dries fast, but not so fast you can't correct your mistakes, and it seems to hold stuff pretty well. I've not found that I have things falling apart. You know, like sometimes with glue stick, you know, you maybe you've even had, you know, your kids do schoolwork, you know, when you put stuff on the refrigerator and the construction paper all falls out and off, and I find Fabri-Tac doesn't do that, so I really like Fabri-Tac. All right, so all right, I think that's looking pretty good. It's a good start. On the back, I want to do something just very simple, just to give it some visual appeal. But I am putting things in the pockets, so the back doesn't need to be anything super, you know, super fancy. So, this is a journaling page from Vectoria Designs, from their botanical journal kit, and I think I'm just going to tear off some pieces and glue them on the back. You know, I just want something that will, you know, give it a little bit of color, a little bit of texture, and give it maybe even a little bit more stability. Since the book cover is made from just a brown paper bag, I want to make sure that, you know, it doesn't tear easily, and I think putting just something, you know, this is, you know, cardstock and paper, but it gives it, you know, it makes it a little bit more stable. In the back, I'm going to just do paper. I'm not going to do any layering, or at least down here on the bottom. Maybe I'll put a tag on there or a label of some kind. But I don't think it needs much, really, to give it some stability and a little visual interest. Because I'm making 3 of these for a special order. I'm making them all very similar, but I'm not making them all the same. I don't want them to be matchy-matchy. Partly because I get bored. I have ADD and can get bored. Have a hard time staying focused on one thing. That's why I like junk journaling in general, simply because I can, do a card, then do a tag, then do a cover. When I'm done with that journal, I can do one of a completely different theme. But doing 3 botanical journals all at the same time. And then I'm doing a couple of grungy herb journals. I don't know quite what to call them. We have botanical, but herbal sounds like shampoo or something. But so I don't know if I should call them herbals, herbariums, herbalicious. I don't know, but I have a couple of herb journals that I'm making for our Etsy shop right now too. Kind of trying to work on them in between teaching classes and attending online department meetings and things. I had a English department meeting this morning, bright and early, and it looked like it was bright and early for all of us because we were a rough looking bunch this morning. But we're trying to keep regular hours. Teachers are not on vacation. Fact is, when I'm done with the video, I need to write a letter of recommendation for one of my seniors for a scholarship. Our deadline's not until May 1st, but I don't want her to stress out and be worried that I'm going to forget. So, I don't know, I kind of like it just plain simple like that, but let me see. Maybe put a label on there. These are from Tracy Fox. She has a couple of different label sets, actually quite a few different label sets, some with random numbers and things on them and different colors. This one is brown, but she also has green, blue, red, and black. And I find that a lot of times just adding a label can make a huge difference. If I'm doing a collage, I might want a label here, and I don't want this next to that or covering up the little bird's nest there. But I don't know if I'm going to use this yet, but I will eventually. But a lot of times with collaging, just adding just a little label can make a lot of difference. I don't think so. I might put one on the inside though. I have this pocket right here. And rather than putting a collage on there, I think I'm just going to put the label. I'm going to put it vertical. I don't know if I'll stamp something on there or not. I have little alphabet stamps and you know, a library stamp. So I think I'm just going to leave the back as is because I'm going to put some things in the pockets. So, but I do want to have something here on the front, like a real front cover. So I do think I want a little bit of doily, and I think I'm just going to cut off just a little piece right here. It's amazing how long a doily can last when you are just using them for little accents. Just a little something something. I think I'm going to put that there, put that on there. And my theme was botanical, so let's see what I have in my pile there. I do have these really pretty green, and I've coffee stained this. It's pretty grungy. So maybe I'll take like this right here. It's a nice size image, I think. I'm just going to tear that carefully. You know, when you're tearing, I don't know if you've noticed, but like when you're tearing something and you get these rough edges on here, I really don't like that, so I usually wind up, you know, picking that off when I do that. But when you, oops, some glue on my fingers. When you tear down, you get the cleaner edge, but if you tear up, that's when you get those tears like that. I don't know if that made sense, but I always try to be really careful when I'm tearing, and I'm not a fussy cutter, so I try to avoid fussy cutting as much as possible. But when I'm tearing things, I try to be careful to always tear down so I don't get those edges. There we go. Yeah, I'm not sure what this plant is. Looks like some kind of orchid. That's a nice size for the cover. And I'm going to, even though it's coffee stained and already pretty grungy, I'm still going to do the sides. Do those edges so that they're nice and aged and don't look like I just tore them out of a book. So I'm going to put this on there, and maybe I will put that on just for some continuity. Put that on a piece of this. Because, you know, the border on this is green as well. But something like that maybe. And I think I will sew, after I glue everything down, I'm going to sew on here and maybe add a charm. But before I do that, Just going to do a quick grungy journal. I've got to make sure everything is grungy. And the pages in this journal are, some of them are seriously grungy. Lots of coffee. So I think I'm going to glue this on there like that. And then sew around the edges. Hey, Lizzie. Cat's coming over to check to see what I'm doing. And I don't know if I want anything else on there, if it needs anything. Obviously it needs some stitching, give it some texture. But I don't think at the moment I don't think I want any anything else. I don't know. What do you think? What are you thinking? And I've got some vintage buttons here and some these little bulb pins or garment pins. And I think I'm going to go with this tan. And I think I'll put that on, add that to that. And my closure is going to just be jute. So glue's feeling like it's getting dry. So I think I'm going to do a little sewing on there. All right, so you can see I just did a straight stitch, a very wonky straight stitch around both the page and the botanical, and I'm going to put that just right there. I'm going to glue it down. I think I'm going to leave the strings on this one since it's grungy, a grungy journal. I'm not leaving it full of strings, but I'm going to leave a couple on there. And I'm going to glue the doily. I'm not putting a lot of glue on here. I know it looks like I am, but I'm barely squeezing any out because I don't want it to ooze through the holes. So I'm just going to put this, I'm not pressing it down until I know it's where I want it to be. It's over a little too far. It needs to be closer to the spine. And then I'm going to glue this down as well. I could have sewn this directly to the cover, but since I have stuff going in the pockets, the stitching won't even be seen on the inside. pop this on that little piece of doily. I don't think it really needs anything else. I've made some tags and things to put in the pockets, and I don't want it to be too busy. So, well, there's my cover, and I still have 2 more to go, but I can only film for about 30 minutes. Otherwise, I can't upload it. So, thank you for joining me today. It gave me the motivation to get this done. I don't know if you think. I don't think I'm missing anything. I like it, and I have been making stuff to put in the pockets, and so if like this is in the back pocket, that's what it would look like. I'm going to put smaller ones here in the front, and that needs a piece of jute. So that'll go in there. So that's what it'll look like finished. And I also might, this is a might. I have some Tim Holtz Distress spray. If I feel like it's not quite grungy enough, I might give it a little spritz of Distress ink here. But thank you for giving me a little push on the motivation today. I've been really struggling just to not to find time, but to find my creativity, my mojo to get these done. And I want to get these in the mail for the woman who has ordered them. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you were able to find 30 minutes of your own to sit down and craft, and will join me again next time. Right now I don't have any tutorials in mind, but if you have a tutorial you would like to see, just put it down in the comments, and I will get to work on that. And if not, I'll just be doing a few more craft with me kinds of things while I work on some of my projects, and have a good week, and stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.